Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day today. Today we are going to talk about solving multi-step equations. So this is something we've slightly looked at before. We've had a couple problems in which we've had multi-step equations, but we haven't quite looked at it yet. So that's what we're going to do today is how do we solve multi-step equations? So technically, right, our two-step equations are multi-step equations because they're more than one step. But here we're really talking about more than two steps. So let's start with our first example here. 7x minus 3x minus 6 equals 26. Well, when you're solving multi-step equations, the first thing you need to do is make sure that you have simplified expressions on both sides of your equal sign. And when I mean have simplified expressions, I mean we combine all our x's that we can and we combine all our constants that we can before we try and tackle solving for that value of x. So what you're going to notice here in this first problem is that 7x minus 3x is not simplified. We can in fact combine like terms. So the first thing we're going to do in this problem is we are going to combine like terms and we're going to do 7x minus 3x. Because these two are on the same side, right, we are going to perform the operation that we see. So we're going to go ahead and see that 7x minus 3x is equal to 4x. And then what you'll notice in this step right here is we just have a two-step equation. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to solve that two-step equation as we always would. Okay? Our goal is to isolate that x, so the first thing we need to do is address that subtracting 6. Okay? So we're going to add 6 to both sides, and then we undo multiplication with division to get x equals 8. So the first step you have in multi-step equations, if you can, you want to combine like terms. Okay? So if you can, you need to combine like terms first. So that's our first example. Again, you can always go back and check your answer by plugging x back into the original equation. Let's look at a second example. So here we have 5x plus 3 times x plus 4 equals 28. So we know we need to combine like terms because we know we have x's on the same side. But right now we have a problem. That x is currently inside the parentheses, and we're multiplying that entire parentheses by 3. Well, think about how we have always addressed that before. How have we combined like terms when something's been in parentheses? Okay? Well, guess what? We've always distributed. We're going to distribute here. So that first step in this problem, before you even try and combine like terms, is distribute. So if you can, you do need to try and distribute before you go ahead and combine like terms. Because we can't combine like terms until we distribute. Make sure you distribute that x or that 3 to the x and the 4. Then if you notice, we have a very similar problem to example 1. That 5x and 3x are on the same side, so we do need to combine like terms by performing whatever operation we see. Well, we're adding the 5x and 3x to give us a total of 8x. And now here we're at a problem which we have 2 more steps left to do. And just as we have before, we need to isolate that 8x, which involves moving the 12 by subtracting the 12 from both sides. Then divide by 8 to get x equals 2. Again, check your answer by substituting x equals 2 into that initial equation, and you will see that it works. So one more example for today. So here we have 18 minus the quantity of x plus 2. So while we don't have multiple x's on the same side we need to combine, we do have multiple constants that are like terms that we need to combine before we try and isolate that x value. Well, currently that x plus 2 is still inside the parentheses and we're subtracting that whole entire quantity. Well, what have we done in the past when we subtracted a whole entire quantity? Well, we remembered that we're really subtracting each of these two values and that outside here we really have a 1. Because we're subtracting, it's a negative 1, so we need to make sure we go ahead and we subtract that each of these terms. So go ahead, subtract each of those terms, distribute that negative 1. We see we have 18 minus x minus 2. Now we have two constants we can combine together. So 16 minus x equals 21. Subtract 16 from both sides, and then you do have to divide by that negative 1 to get x equals -5. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day.